Hi everybody. So we're back today to show you how to construct a field map. So a field map is just going to represent a measurable quantity. It could be temperature, it could be elevation, it could be pressure, it could be snowfall total. In this case, in this example, these are just some numbers here that are probably going to represent, let's just say, temperature. So we're going to draw what are called isotherms. So in the next couple examples, I'm going to show you the different rules that you need to be able to draw a proper field map. So in this case, you'll see up at the top the interval. That's going to be your key. We're going to draw the 70 line and the 80 line. Now, I'm going to show you a technique that I teach my students, and it's kind of a foolproof way to do this properly. So we're going to draw the 70 line first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of X out the numbers that are physically given to me with the 70. So you clearly can see that there's only two of them. One of the major rules is that these lines cannot start and stop within a map. So just by connecting the two 70s, that would technically be incorrect. Not to mention, there's a lot of hidden values. You have to look for the hidden values. So the one thing you have to just kind of realize is, where does 70 fall between? A 70 falls between 68 and 71. So on a number line, 68, 69, 70, 71. In between 69 and 70. You'll notice that I'm just going to kind of go through and try to map out what my line is going to look like. Because one of the very common questions I get is, what does my line look like? Is it going to look like a circle, or is it going to start and stop at the edge of the map? Well, if you map it out like this, like I'm doing, take the extra minute to do it, you'll get an idea about what that line's going to look like. Obviously, the two 70s are given to me. Between 68 and 73, there's a 70. Between 69 and 73, and between 69 and 72. So mapping it out like this, you can do dots. I like to use the highlighter because it kind of shows up a little bit nicer. Now I can clearly see that my line's going to be a kind of a vertical line. It's going to come down and kind of end off the map. What I like to do is I like to exaggerate starting off the end of the map. Go down, make sure my line goes through my points, especially the values that are given to me. I want to make sure that my line goes right directly through my points. Take your time. Come down, connect, like so. Now, I kind of exaggerate starting it off the map and ending it off the map because I just want to make sure that there's no indication that I'm stopping within the map. You always want to run your line completely off the map. Take your time. Now, you don't have to find every hidden value, but you want to find enough that you're going to see what the pattern of the line looks like. The next value I'm going to go based on my increment is 80. So I have two 80s here. And what I want to do is I want to kind of check where else there's an 80. There's an 80 between the 78 and 82. And there's an 80 between the 79 and 81. So again, there's more of them in there, but it gives me the general position of what this is going to look like. Make sure my line goes through my points. And just a really important thing is you just want to make sure that your line goes through values that your number falls between. So for instance, an 80 is going to fall between 79 and 81. An 80 would not fall between 75 and 75. So it has to fall within a number line, and it has to be able to pass between values. So that's your classic, real standard field map. You can also get field maps that are what are called isotherms. So isotherms are going to be values that connect equal temperature. And in this map, I'm going to do a kind of a harder example here. I'm going to connect the 40 value. And what's tough about that 40 value is that there's no 40s physically given to you. So you have to find them. There's a 40 between 39 and 41. There's a 40 between 39 and 49. There's a 40 between 39 and 45. There's a 40 between 37 and 42. There's a 40 between 38 and 41. And then there's going to be a 40 between 37 and 59. Okay. And again, you can kind of just get kind of a gradual idea of what this line's going to look like. I'm going to start off the map again, just like I did with the previous example. Now connect your points. Make sure your line can go through the values. That's why we kind of map it out. It's going to come up like so, and then off the map. Again, do you have to find every single hidden value? No, but you want to find them to the point where it's going to give you a little bit of a pattern about what your line's going to look like. That's your 40 line. So we did a basic field map. We did an isotherm map. So we did these two maps right here. What I also want to do now is I want to show you just a couple more examples of some fields. I want to do a pressure field. And that pressure field is what we call isobars. In this case, I'm only going to connect the 1024 isobar. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of take my marker again, and I'm just going to go through, I'm going to try to map it out the best I can. So you have two separate isobar values that you're going to connect. The one thing about these lines, they can never intersect. They can't cross. So I can't take the 1024 over here and connect it over here. They're going to be two separate values. These lines are going to get close together, but they're never going to touch, they're never going to cross. Now these are going to be a little bit different because these are going to make a circular pattern. So I'm just going to mark off the 1024 is given to me. I'm just going to kind of look, just kind of get an idea, because it can get a little overwhelming trying to find these things. So if you kind of mark them off, all right, so left side it looks like I'm done here in terms of marking them off, but we also have to be able to find the hidden values. So the one thing about this is I'm not going to do this with the marker because it gets a little too, it kind of bleeds through the paper a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of snake my way through because it gets a little bit tight here. So I'm going to start with the 1024. I'm just going to start right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to the right of the 1026 because this line that's already drawn is the 1020. So 1024 falls between 1020 and 1026. Falls between 1020 and 1025. It's going to come between the 1022 and 1025. So again, I'm just kind of going through connecting the 1024s. I can go between the 1023 and 1028. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to go around the 1026 here. I'm going to come like this. Like so, and then back around again. So there's the proper drawing of your 1024 on the left side. We can do the same thing with the 1024 on the right side. Again, the lines can get close, but you don't want them intersecting with any other field line. These are all 1024s. So this one's a little bit easier to draw because there's really not a ton of hidden values, but we can kind of bring these up like so. Make sure that it can fall between the 1022 and 1025. I'm going to go between the 1021 here and the 1026. I'm going to bring this up like so, and then down, connecting each one, making sure my line goes through the point. And again, no intersection of lines here. These are going to connect upon themselves within the map. Those are called isobars. Equal pressure. And the last one I wanted to kind of demo for you is going to be a contour map. And a contour map is going to show the field of elevation. Now this is going to be similar to the first one that we did and the second one that we did where we're going to run the line off the map. Now I'm just going to connect the 60-meter line. So I've got the 60 there, I get a 60 here. I'm just going to kind of mark off the ones that I physically have. All right, so those look like all the values that are given to me. So what I want to do is I want to kind of find where some of these hidden values are. And I have a 60 between the 43 and 65. I get a 60 here. Obviously, this 60 is given to me. I got another one between the 52 and 77. And I can clearly kind of bring this up and connect it to the 60 at the top of the map. Now I'm going to bring it down the eastern side of the map. So I'm going to come between the 40 and the 64. That 60 is given to me. Between the 49 and 78. Between the 59 and 85. Between the 38 and 75. That 60 is given to me there. And then obviously I'm going to run it off the map. So again, you don't have to find every single hidden value, but you want to find enough that you're going to see where your line's going to be able to pass through. So we're going to start down here, start it off the map, Bring it up. Make sure your line goes through your points, especially the ones that are given to you. Bring this down like so, all the way to the eastern side of the map and off the map. So that's how you properly do field maps. And I showed you 4 different examples of 4 different types of field maps you may see on an exam or maybe some practice in class. So take a look at them. Hopefully they help you with your studies, and we'll talk to you guys soon.